The year was 1942. Europe was burning under the weight of war. In a small Polish village, hidden among forests and dirt roads, German soldiers marched in daily patrols. Their boots thundered against cobblestones, their rifles gleaming in the sunlight. To the villagers, the sound meant fear, silence, and submission. But to one boy, barely 12 years old, the sound was a challenge. His name was Marek, a farmer's son, with eyes too sharp for his age, and a heart that refused to accept despair. He watched as soldiers searched homes, confiscated food, and dragged neighbors away. Every day, the army grew stronger, while the villagers grew hungrier. Marek had nothing, no weapons, no power, no army of his own, but he had something the soldiers overlooked: his youth. To the Germans, he was just a child, harmless, invisible, and that made him dangerous. It began with whispers. Marek overheard soldiers discussing supply routes, where ammunition and food were stored, where convoys would move next. He memorized every word and carried the knowledge back to his village. At night, when the soldiers slept, Marek would sneak out and scratch crude maps in the dirt for the resistance fighters hiding in the woods. Soon, the boy became a messenger. Tucked inside his boots were scraps of paper with codes disguised as school notes or doodles. He slipped past checkpoints with a smile and wide eyes, playing the role of a clueless child. The soldiers never suspected that their downfall was running circles around them in broad daylight, but Marek's most daring act came one freezing winter night. A German convoy was preparing to transport weapons through the valley, a shipment that would arm hundreds of soldiers. If it reached its destination, the resistance would be crushed. Marek knew he couldn't let that happen. Armed with nothing but a lantern and a rope, Marek crept into the valley. He tied the rope across the narrow dirt road, hidden in the snow. Hours later, as the convoy rumbled through the darkness, the lead truck hit the trap. It swerved violently, crashing into the ditch, blocking the road. Chaos erupted. In the confusion, resistance fighters, hidden in the trees, ambushed the convoy, capturing weapons and supplies that turned the tide of their struggle. The victory was celebrated in hushed whispers around campfires. None of the soldiers ever knew that it was a boy just 12 years old who had set the stage. Marek became a legend, though his name was rarely spoken aloud. For the resistance, he was proof that courage came not from age or size, but from resolve. For the villagers, he was hope incarnate, a reminder that even the smallest spark could ignite a flame in the darkest times. But legends come at a cost. In the spring, Germans grew suspicious. Whispers spread of a child spy, a ghost slipping through their ranks. Marek lived in constant danger, knowing that discovery meant death. Still, he never stopped. Until the end of the war, he continued carrying messages, setting traps, and outsmarting soldiers trained to crush entire nations. When peace finally returned, Marek was no longer just a boy. He was a symbol of resistance. He had risked everything, not for glory, not for recognition, but because he believed his village deserved to live free. History books often celebrate generals, battles, and treaties, but sometimes victory rests in the hands of those history almost forgets.